The Immortal Thor, issue number 15. That's right, folks. This is the 15th issue. We are on issue 776 of Thor, if you cared at all. I just remember because the last issue was 775, which is pretty cool. This being the 15th issue, you'd think, oh, it's going to be stale and kind of boring because we're 15 issues in. How much more juice do we got in the tank, and where are we going with this? Well, folks, Al Ewing said, I'm not getting off the book just yet. I have a lot more stuff to talk about. And he does. And this issue, it's pretty much one of the perfect issues that he's really good at doing. We're going to wrap up multiple storylines for the moment, set up multiple more storylines, and just show you that there's more going on here than what you think. This is really cool. I really dug this issue. It's so much fun. It goes into the direction that I really like, which we'll get to in a minute here, and wraps up a storyline. I was like, what are we going to do with this? So the wheel has begun to turn, or it is turning, or it's in constant turning motion. Either way, we amplify that by seeing like a scientist enter a lab where there's like a pentagram on the ground and like occult stuff everywhere and like a weird vat. And they turn a wheel on like some old steampunk looking valve. And that's just to amplify like the wheel's always turning. There's always a wheel turning. And the wheel's turning on the gods or something because Thor went electric blue. What does that mean specifically? He absorbed the power of Zeus. And now Zeus is still alive. He's not like dead or anything. He just has the power of Zeus. And he sees the wheel turning in his eye. And everyone down below is like, okay, that's crazy. Hercules in particular is like, should we do something? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That power could destroy my friend like it destroyed my dad. Should you do something? And she's like, no. I mean, he's like a lightning bolt now. That's like the daytime and sunshine and stuff. It's like light. I operate in the dark. My son Hypnos, if something comes about it, he can deal with that. So Nyx just leaves. And Loki's like, yeah, that's probably for the best. And Hercules is like, what do you mean for the best? What is any of this going on? I'm very confused by this whole situation. And I feel like I should do something about it. But again, it's Hercules, a big brawn guy in a room with the smartest people. They're like, just relax. You know what's going on. This is another test for Thor. It's even a test for you. You passed it already. The test of Uras or Uras, Uruz. So Uruz, I don't know the language. And there's gonna be more words in this book that I don't understand. But this is a test for Thor and Hercules. Hercules passed. Now Thor's doing the test, and Loki starts bringing up like old school beings like the Urus representing the Uruks and like the Udumla's children, the wild cattle, primal beasts that gave milk and life, yet raged and ran and brought death to a stampede of hooves. And now there's mortals, like an ancient being that like first saw the power that Thor is bestowing upon himself, and he is listening to like the power of Zeus speak in his head like it's going to consume him. So we get like two thought bubbles from each version of Thor, like his one like, this is weird, and the one in his head that's like, yes, steal the wheel, we can control it. And he's like, no, that's not what we're going to do. I think I got a plan. I'm very capable, so I think I know what I'm going to do. So what does Thor do in this situation? With this great power, it needs to be tamed so he can control it and not lose himself because it's a test. Thor takes the power of Zeus, like the metaphorical power of Zeus. He puts it in the palm of his hand and he shoves it around his chest. And what happens? He forms a new belt out of it. And I don't even know if I want to try to pronounce the name of the belt. It's like Yulgjord, Yolgjord, Yolgjord. I don't know how you'd say that. Yulgjord or something. So Thor took the power of Zeus, tamed it, turned it into a new belt that's really golden, and it's like, okay, I passed. And Loki's like, I guess you did. You answered the riddle the old ways of the old gods. Good for you. You did great. And Thor's like, this is just okay. So many different types of magic over here. I'm getting kind of tired of it, and I'm starting to think these tests are not going fun. And I told you, even though you are my enemy, I do trust you. This is exhausting, and it's going in directions that I don't like. And I need you to not be here at this moment. And one of the consequences that Loki is saying is like, hey, don't make a reaction in anger based on the situation. But Thor's like, no, it's decided. I need you to be away from me right now. So Thor banishes Loki from Asgard, essentially like the Golden Realm is no longer yours and you are not allowed in my sight. So Loki is banished. I don't know if they'll appear in the book anymore. I'm guessing they will because this is very much a Loki book as well. Still doing some narration. So Thor, with his new belt, talks to the people left in the room, which is Zeus, Athena, Hercules, and Hypnos, and is like, all right, let's go home. So we're done. The Nyx stuff, we're over. We're headed back to Asgard. Sith meets them on the bridge, and she's like, all right, well, you brought some people. That's pretty cool. Things have been going okay since you left. Why don't we get a room for Hypno so he can, like, relax and just find lodging for a minute? And, you know, we'll get, like, a physician or, like, a magic person to check on Zeus or whatever. Thor has some business he has to take care of because an Asgardian has returned from whatever venture that they were doing in whatever location, so Thor's got to go deal with that. Who's the Asgardian that has returned? Well, it's Amora. The Enchantress has returned. And this is my favorite part of the book because this is a relationship I really like, and this is how I want to see it handled. When you have two characters in current continuity that have known each other for centuries and even in the comic book world for decades, you have to treat it with the same flirtatious energy that you've had from the beginning of their conception, with like the real world ramification that these are two characters that have been around for like 60 years. So let's change that and do something fun with it. I really like this sequence. I think it's really well handled. So Sif kind of leaves them just being like, I don't trust you, but you're here now. And Thor never gave me instructions not to let you in. But she walks away, knowing full well that she's like the all-seeing Heimdall character now and she could see them. But whatever, Thor's like, all right, I mean, I guess we're doing this. We're going to have this conversation. What do you want? And she goes, well, didn't Scourge explain? He's like, yeah, I heard what Scourge said. I know Scourge did all the stuff he did. He thinks like him sacrificing himself for me was like a meaningless death now, and he wants to find new meaning in it. I get that. But what do you want? Like, I don't really want to like get into a thing with you right now. I'm so tired from all this. And he like sits down in a chair, just ready to like relax. And then Amora's like, well, come on. If there's one thing, you know, you and I are going to do is never stray away from the dangers. And she sits on his lap and he's like, ugh, do we want to do this? And she's like, well, we know the steps. And he's like, yeah, of course we do, because it's dangerous. And we got to be careful. Sith might come here and stop us when we do like the kiss. And she's like, what kiss? And then he kisses her and she's like, oh, interesting. And I'm like, this is it. Like, this is good. It's just like, yeah, this is the kind of chemistry and relationship I like for these characters. Thor's like, I mean, we could, but it's probably not a good idea, especially not like our current situation where like you framed me for the murder of Dario Agger and had like my axe in his back. She's like, yeah, whatever, you know, I do hold Roxanne on a leash now, so it's pretty good that I can do some good stuff with them. But, you know, all this is just leading to a reason that I think you know why I'm here. And we can beat around the bush all we want. We can do our little flirty thing. But you know why you and I have conflict right now. Regardless of how I feel about you, and Enchantress does care about Thor, you know there's a situation I haven't forgotten and I haven't forgiven you for. And, all right, what is it? It is Uruk, her son, because he died in Strange Academy. And I guess he's still dead. I haven't read like the supplementary stuff from Strange Academy, but I have covered all of that series when it was first coming out. And yes, Uruk did die. He never got a warrior's death. Somebody deserves one, and it is him. Thor's like, you're right. He does deserve a warrior's death. I will make sure he's in Valhalla. And she's like, that's great, but that's not enough. Everything we've done, everything we've been through, you know I'd only do this because I care, and I need this to be done. My son deserves to be returned to the land of the living. He deserves to be alive. Would you sit by and let your child be lost in all of the conflicts of the gods and everything? I'm like, yeah, that's good. Like, this is good. Because you are both doing the classic stuff with Amora, where she is like flirty, kissing Thor, but it's mature enough now where she's like, I care about you, dude. I do care about you, and if we ever dance this dance again, I would be open to the dance. But I'm doing the stuff I'm doing now because I have a child I care about and I want them to be okay. I want to make that situation better. So I really admire the restraint from like going fully into like these two are going to like make a regret. It's more like, oh, we're both too tired for this right now, but we could easily do it. You know, I think that's so much more interesting. So much more interesting. And because she does control Roxxon at the moment, Thor's like, well, I know you like control that and you have the leash around it, but if it does hunger, and I'm sure it will hunger, is it going to feed upon me? And we amplify that with seeing some weird occult stuff happening in the stuff we saw at the beginning of the book. Dr. Lamar is like working on something emerging from like a weird cloning facility. Who is emerging from the cloning tank? Oh, it's Dario Agger. Now he looks human. Human enough. He's still got the red eyes, but that might just be artistic effect. And there you go. Thor just like assured his own destruction because he let this happen or something. Couldn't really tell you, but it's pretty cool. He's got like Minotaur cufflinks. That's like a fun addition because that's what you kind of need for this character. So people know who it is. That's where the book ends. And I'm like, yeah, we just did like 3 things here. Thor got a new power. Him and Amora are kind of healing in their relationship, but not really. And Dario Agger is back. We solved a lot of problems we were having, and I very much dig it and respect it, and I'm glad we're doing it. This has been incredibly fun. What a cool book. I'm glad it's still taking chances and doing some stupid stuff. It's insane, and I love it, and I respect it, and I'm glad it's all going on. I'm glad this book exists in the way it does, because what a weird angle to take this character that I completely love. I like it. It's a good Thor run. So, the Immortal Thor, issue number 15. I'm going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.